Hey guys, Camfrey 15, joined by my co-host, the Red Wolf, and we are back again for right now, the final time talking My Hero Academia Season 6 content. This isn't the end, but uh,
Hmm.
last time we'll be talking Season 6, and what an eventful episode. Now, I understand we missed last week. My co-host was in Mexico for last week, and we just made the business decision since it was the final episode of the season, my co-host had to be on this episode
I
with
mean,
what was talked about.
hey, I gotta be here for the final episode of My Hero Academia season 6.
Yes. It was a really good episode, and pretty much it's just build up to season 7, really. You're just
hmm
getting the stones put in place. Obviously, probably the biggest stone that is put in place is America's number one hero coming to aid Japan, apparently.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that?
Sure, we can talk.
I was not expecting a muscular woman.
I bet you weren't.
Uh, and she apparently claims to be All Might's student.
All I'm gonna say is season 7 is gonna start off with a bang, and I know where the story's gonna be headed. So
Um,
yes, Star and Stripe showing up, and yeah, but let's get to the start of the episode. The start of the episode starts off with the confrontation, or the, I guess you can say, the conversation between All Might and Hero Killer Stain.
I'm just gonna say this before we start. Okay, I was wrong. I was wrong again.
Oh yeah, that's right. You predicted that Stain would kill All Might.
Yeah, that's what I was predicting, but
They got you in that first scene, didn't you? Though, when he raised up his sword.
yes, yes, he did.
So we get the conversation between Stain and All Might, and pretty much in this conversation, um, I think it's aware that Stain knew that was All Might, but I guess in a way, I guess he played it off like he didn't know that it was All Might, but you would have to think he knows that it's All Might. I mean, and even All Might buffed up on him, but freaking Stain's like, "You liar! You're just trying to facade me." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's crazy."
Mm.
Um, but practically, the thing is, All Might is kind of blaming himself for everything that has happened. Um, Currently, with what's currently going on, like he makes a point, like, when he was a hero, he was so heavily relied upon that pretty much it didn't shine the light to other heroes out there, and he feels like he's responsible for everything that has happened. And obviously, in his position, you can feel for the guy. Like, he's just watching this as a civilian, as a retired hero. He can't really do anything because he has no more one for all, and he can't even go buff anymore. So you have to
And if he
feel.
can, it's only for a split second.
Yeah, but even then, it's like he can't go back to what he used to be, and we know in a way his character is similar to that of Deku, where he wants to help anybody he can help because that's just in his DNA. He wants to save people, but he blames himself for, like, I can't do nothing and I feel weak. But then pretty much Stain is like, he pretty much, like, Stain hears something, and then he's like, "Look, what do we see going on?" As they're watching.
Yes, All Might looks and he sees a woman walking up to his statue that has the "I'm not here" sign, and he slowly sees that she's actually taking down the sign and cleaning the statue for All Might because she still believes. She to this day still believes, and Stain also mentioned that she was the last person woman All Might saved.
Yep, in the fight against All For One back in season 3. And pretty much, this was like an example of Stain saying, "See, you say all these things like people don't believe or they don't have hope, but at the end of the day, you look at that person still has belief. They still have hope in the heroes that they can do it, pretty much." Um, And in a way, he's telling him like, dude, you just can't give up with your fight. You got to keep fighting on, even if you can't, even if you have to do the little things. That's pretty much in his way, I guess, is saying essence of being a hero, because he makes some mentions like, see, All Might wouldn't freaking just sit around and sulk. He'd go out and he'd go do something. So then he walks off and he's like, oh yeah, if you're a true hero like you say you are, well then you'll give this information from Tartaros. He pretty much throws these 2 sheets of paper, and it's information he got from Tartaros, from what he saw pretty much there. And what were his words after he drops that he tells All Might to do?
When you're ready, come and end my life. The Stain who killed 40 heroes.
So, let's get into prediction time. Do you think All Might will somehow find a way to get his powers back? And then do you think he'll go after Stain?
I'd say it's a possibility. It is a possibility. One method he would try is Ariel, obviously. Other than that, I don't know any other method.
Yeah, man. You know, Eri looks like she's got her rewind abilities like under control. So you would have to think maybe she can rewind him back to Prime All Might. Maybe like pre-injury All Might before he had.
In other words, we'll be having two All Mights versus two All for Ones.
That could be an interesting dynamic right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
So, now the only question is, will All Might still have the abilities to use One for All, though? That's the question. Because I don't know, because we remember he used like the last bit of his power in the fight against All for One, so maybe he'll still have the buff capabilities, and he can still do the crazy things because his body was allowed him to do that. I don't know. That's always been a question I've always wondered. If Eri does rewind him, would he be able to have his abilities of One for All again?
Actually, the question is, how long has it been since he lost One for All already? Like
a few months. In My Hero Academia timeline, it's only been a few months. Remember, Deku and his classmates, they're still essentially in their freshman year of high school. So it's only been a few months.
Well, yeah.
Well, technically, right now, they should be second years. They should be sophomores.
Although, yeah, we should also think about how far can Eri turn back time without like losing control.
Well, that is true. But if she managed to rewind Muriel back, you'd think she could.
Yeah, but it hasn't even been that long since he.
True. Maybe there's something. Maybe the best she can do is rewind him back to maybe season 1 All Might.
Yep.
Or at least we can hope for she rewinds him back to before he had that bad stomach injury that pretty much hampered him.
That would be a long way.
Could be. So guess we'll find out. Excuse you. So that's pretty much it. We get the opening. What does Class 1A do the moment they get into their dorm?
Very comedically, carry Deku to the bathroom, starts washing him, while Deku's just just straight up they start cleaning him and start like comforting him.
Yeah, we have Bakugo talking and telling Deku Izuku again. I guess maybe he'll call him his name every now and then. I don't know. But after
Uraraka.
Oh yeah, Uraraka or Ochako. Deku asked about Ochako. You think you're gonna get your big Ochako and Deku, one-on-one alone talk? Maybe she confesses. No.
Nah, I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
She pretty much is asleep because she's exhausted now. Okay, I remember reading this in the manga. I was kind of pissed. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Really? Like, you're that tired? I understand you. Well, let's be honest. She really didn't do much in the fight against Deku, but I don't know she poured her heart out, but damn. You couldn't go say like, "Hey, are you okay?" and have that one-on-one conversation. But it's all right. It's all right. We'll get that moment. Hopefully, we get that moment. I still want that moment where she confesses.
Oh man.
Just gets it off her chest, so then she can focus on other things.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's good within itself. But pretty much, Class 1A is like, oh yeah, one for all. That's pretty cool and everything. They did say, I think it was Mina that said, like, we appreciate the note that you left us, though, but it would have been better if you had told us in person about your powers and things like that. But it's kind of that whole thing about responsibility, yada yada yada. Deku then says, like, I kind of wish I could apologize to All Might because Todoroki says, hey, why don't you just get some sleep right now? But he's like, I can't sleep because I want to apologize to what I did to All Might. Speak of the devil, All Might just shows up in the dorm.
Yeah, All Might was like on the window.
Yes. What is pretty much the forewarning All Might gives them?
Like the warning.
Yeah, the warning.
The final battle is coming soon.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that in a quick second. But he pretty much says like, just be ready for what you guys are, and then he pretty much says like, I'll do whatever I can to help out and assist you when I can. That's kind of the thing. Deku pretty much says the pork cutlets were good. So, yeah. All Might's like, listen, just be ready. You'll get some information about when the next fight is gonna happen. So just be prepared for whenever that time comes. So he walks out. He leaves. Deku finally goes to sleep on the couch. Todoroki does have an offshoot conversation about working with his dad to take down his brother Toya. But other than that, Todoroki is like, if it wasn't for you guys, I would be a completely different person. So it's nice to see that right then and there. So yeah. We kind of get some information about the stuff about in regards to what Stain gave, and it's talked about in this little conversation between Best Jeanist and Hawks, but it isn't really built up upon until we get to All Might and Tsukauchi. So All Might and Tsukauchi and this cat guy, I forgot his name, this cat officer, we've seen him before. They're talking about everything. We also do get a flashback to Stain's perspective of the Tartarus breakout. I guess he killed, well, obviously it's probably the best idea that he did kill this guy, because this guy was like, oh, I need to see the girls, I need to see the girl. I'm like,
that's a no.
So hey, Stain killed the right guy right there.
Yeah.
And the way the guy was characterly drawn, he gave that persona of like, yeah, this guy probably should not get out of here.
Imagine if that guy was a former hero. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Let's move on. We're keeping things PG here. So yeah, we see things from Stain's perspective. We see how he gets the information from this guard. And yeah. And also, too, he was kind of hiding in the shadows when he saw All for One, like, yes, I want to be a demon lord, which I still think is so damn stupid, yet. It's funny. This man said he read comic books, but he liked the bad guy side more, and then he wanted to become the demon lord.
That's how you know he's a psycho.
Oh, my goodness. Well, he's a controlling man, so. And hey, listen, that's in his name. It's All for One.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah, we see Tsukauchi and All Might talk, and they're like, well, it's been 38 days since that breakout, and due to the radio waves that were being sent and through the information, they were pretty much communicating. Now, All Might goes into the mention of the fact how the synchronization between All for One was like crazy strong to the point that pretty much he has control over Shigaraki's body, especially when the main body was like damn near like deep sea levels. We're talking about like impel down deep sea levels type of where his cell was prison. Like practically damn near at the depths of the ocean. Now, how the hell they built it that deep, this thing, like in One Piece, we would have to imagine that they had a slave fisherman built impel down, especially down undersea. Now, how they built a undersea freaking prison like that deep, I have no clue how they did that in the My Hero world. Maybe they have people that can breathe underwater.
I mean, there are a few characters that we know that are like based off of sea creatures, so I think that's possible.
True, that is true. Yeah, so pretty much we find out that how many days does Shigaraki have left till he becomes, I guess you can say, all for one?
38 days or so.
Not 38. That was take off the 8.
30?
Yes, 3 days. 3 measly days. And then and they do a great panel where it literally is Shigaraki in for one's freaking tuxedo clothes.
Oh no.
So the heroes have 3 days, and the Catman gave like probably the best reaction to this. He was like, oh shit. So the heroes don't have a lot of time. 3 effing days till Shigaraki is 100% body complete with the quirk. And God knows how strong he could be.
Yeah. If it's anything compared to how over one was before, then
yeah. And mind you, he was only like 50% at the start of season 6, fighting against all those heroes, and he was still kicking their asses. So
more heroes are going to die.
Well, to be honest, what heroes are left other than the main ones we've seen so far?
Well, one of my other predictions was Cementos dying, but he didn't die. At least I don't think.
Anyways, we cut to this big screen where we have this one person sitting there talking to other countries, and pretty much they're saying, listen, Japan is at a state of an emergency with everything that's going on. Listen, could you freaking send your heroes to come help us? Now, these other world government people are like, we would love to, but you see, All For One's got people in our countries, and we don't know we want to send our best over there. You know, like we get, like, I guess the country of Egypt person, he's like, yeah, Salam, he's really mad about All For One. He wants to come over and help, but we blocked him off from doing that. Now, if you don't know who Salam is, he's the guy from the promotion of World Heroes Mission, where they barely showed any of the other heroes, but all right, fine. I think we also see Big Red Dot. I think he was in the movie too. But then we cut over the United States, of which I'm guessing is the president of the United States, and he's like, obvious. Now we don't see these guys' faces; they're like blacked out, but we see him like, I don't know what happened, but we couldn't stop it. We couldn't stop her. He just went without us telling her with approval. So
all I gotta say is her design looks very familiar. Like something out of Marvel or DC.
Makes sense. It's definitely United States wise.
Yeah, exactly.
So, who do we see in the next panel?
What's her name again? Star?
Star and Stripe.
Star Stripe. Yeah. We see her flying on some airplanes. Doing like the All Might pose. Like okay. She's all saying like why hesitate? My master needs some help.
Yes. And pretty much the episode cuts back to Deku waking up. And pretty much his entire class, well, he gets the whole, I guess, nightmare version of All For One saying, now it's your turn. He wakes up, he unleashes Blackwood for a bit, but Ochako's there standing there. But practically the entire class 1A is right there, then and there. And Deku pretty much is like, you know, what is it? Or his classmates like, listen, you're not alone this time. We're going to fight alongside you this time. And pretty much the season ends off with Deku saying, well, I realize that alongside my friends, I pretty much can do your typical great superhero things and things like that. I think he ends off saying plus ultra, blah 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 blah, and that's where the season ends off. And the wait for season 7 now hits. We already got a confirmation a few minutes or a day after the episode aired last week that they sent it a poster of the 7th season. It's of this etching of Deku. He's still wearing the scarf. And everything. He looks like he had, from what the image showed, it looked like he still has everything's fixed up, but it seems like his hero costume's not there. It looks like he's wearing the UA regular tracksuit. But definitely gonna be interesting to see where the story goes from here. Before we just get out of here, what are your expectations and what are your thoughts on Star and Stripe other than her being so beefy?
I honestly don't have any predictions just yet because I only just saw her and I have no idea what her powers are. I have no idea.
Now she is the #1 hero in the United States, which, geez Louise, that's definitely a lot to send you. Well, technically, the United States even sent her. She went on her own free will. So yeah, I guess my only other thing about Star and Stripe is, what are your thoughts about her apparently being All Might's mentor or apprentice?
It's kind of funny how, because she was never mentioned.
Yes, and we do know he did go to the United States. He just didn't go to the United States like he did in the movie, which, funny enough, reading this most current manga chapter.
Is she somehow related to Melissa?
You're just throwing that prediction out there?
Maybe. I'm just throwing that prediction out there.
I guess a slight spoiler for the manga. I'll just say this. On the last panel, they did show movie characters in the manga. The main movie characters. Melissa Shield. You see the 2 kids from Heroes Rising. And then you see I think the guy in the 3rd movie is called Rhodey. You see him, you see his hand, and then his 2 siblings. So I'll say that in my manga chapter review, more than likely tomorrow, they officially canonized the movies. So the movies are, I guess you can say, now canon, are loosely canon to the main storyline. But going back to Star and Stripe, we do know that not only in the movies, All Might did go spend some time in the United States for a time.
Yes.
So he could have met, I guess, Star and Stripe. Now, she would have probably been a lot younger. Maybe he taught her some things, or maybe it could be the whole thing. Maybe it's just like she just looked up to the guy. We don't know. So yes, but overall, as we're ending off season 6, out of the 6 seasons of My Hero Academia, I think it's without a shadow of a doubt this is the best season.
Yeah, this is definitely the best season. Yeah. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah. If you're talking about best season of My Hero Academia, this is #1 as of today. And honestly, if I'm being honest, it's probably the best season. It's going to be the best season of the entire series.
So it's going to be better than the next upcoming season?
Season 7, or the content I'm getting in the manga that's covering season 7 content, it's good. It's kind of up to what you believe. It's still good. Right now, I'd probably say it's definitely second best. I think season 7 is gonna be definitely second best, but we have to see what they do. But season 6 by hands down was the best, especially coming off people's very critical judgments of season 4 and 5, which I think people were overreacting way too damn much. I thought, people didn't like season 4 because they thought it was overhyped too much. I thought season 4 was pretty damn good. I think mostly people don't like the back half of season 4, but then there's some people that said they didn't like the first half of season 4 with the way they handled it, but I thought that was all great. And then season 5. Oh, and I forgot to mention, in this episode, Class 1A wants to do another concert after the world is saved from the villains to cheer up the civilians from what they do. And Jiro, she's like, yeah, let's do that. We did it for, obviously, the entire school. Let's do it for everybody to have a good time after this is all done. So then, they can feel welcomed and things like that. That's what they did in season 4. Season 5, I think people just didn't like season 5 because, well, they didn't like the first half. I'm not gonna blame them. Season 5's the first half of season 5, Class A, Class 1B. That is probably the worst arc of the entire series. Let's just get that out the way. That's probably the worst arc. Honestly, you can skim through that arc and not miss nothing outside of Deku gaining Black Whip.
Mhm.
So, yeah, but then people just didn't like season 5 with the way they handled it with the whole MVA stuff, which I thought MVA was done pretty good in the anime.
I had people tell me that I was rushed.
It was rushed because they had a short amount of episodes. And see, the thing with that, like I said last season, the reason why MVA was rushed in the anime is because in Japan culture, Japanese people do not like following the story of the villains, of bad guys. They don't like that. Out here in the West, we may like complex, diverse bad guy characters. Out there, they hate that shit. They don't like that. They like the hero stuff. When MVA was running in the manga, that's when My Hero Academia, like, I think had like its lowest sales in the manga because the people in Japan didn't resonate with the villains. They didn't like them. So that's why they rushed it. They focused more on the hero stuff more than the My Villain stuff. But I still thought My Villain Academia in the anime was good, even though it was rushed. But people will have their own opinions. I'm not going to judge them. I may say they're overreacting, but yeah, but that's why I say season 6, you just can't come up in here and freaking say, oh, season 6 was great. It was wonderful. No. You were shitting on the last 2 seasons, and now you want to jump on the bandwagon for My Hero again. No. In my books, in my eyes, you ain't on the bandwagon. You're not allowed to join the bandwagon. Go enjoy the first 2 seasons, and then you'll see the greatness of season 6. My Hero Academia honestly hasn't had one bad season in the anime. Not one. It's actually it's actually one of the more consistent animes to date.
Honestly, all the characters in My Hero Academia are all amazing in their own right. I'm talking about all the hero characters, obviously. Cause I find them all likable. Yes, even Minata. But yeah, a lot of people just ruined the experience for me just from their toxicity.
Yeah, My Hero Academia does have a very toxic community. And like I always say, voice your own opinion. If you like something, don't be afraid to voice it. You know, shit, we like fairy tale, and that's universally hated amongst people.
I can recognize fairy tale for its flaws. I can do that much, but honestly, it's still enjoyable. It's really enjoyable for me.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's what we say about My Hero. You know, My Hero is not perfect. We're not saying My Hero Academia is perfect. It has its flaws, but I think people overreact saying it's a terrible series. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, and I'm definitely excited for season 7. Now, like I said, when season 7 could come, who knows? Obviously, my prediction is season 7 will be the final season of the series as a whole, because right now right now with the stories out in the manga, it's pretty much telling the final story, the final arc. Now, what they do to handle it, I have no clue. When it will arrive, I don't know. It's all based on when the manga ends. We got back-to-back weeks of manga. Hopefully that continues. Hopefully Horikoshi's health is improving for the most part, but you know, obviously doing this manga, it takes a toll on his health. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the mangas, maybe when season 7 comes, if they want to release season 7 next year, maybe they do this. If the manga's not completed by then, do like a 1 core split. Do 2 cores, but a split core, like we've been seeing as of late. Like, for example, Bleach. You know, Bleach aired in fall, right? Fall of last year. It's the second core of Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War is going to be coming next anime season in the summertime. So, My Hero Academia is about 25 episodes a season. Have 12, 13 episodes be core 1, and you leave off on a cliffhanger, and then until the manga's finished, you get core number 2 to end off the story. There you go. I think that's probably the best thing to do. If the manga is still ongoing and they want to release season 7 by next year, That's probably what they're gonna do. A split core, which I'm perfectly fine with. You get most of the good stuff out, most of the beginning stuff of this war between the heroes and the villains part 2 again. Or I guess this time we can literally call it the war for Japan, because that's what it's going to be. Because I think with All for One in the picture, he's not going to want to give up or just retreat. He's going to want to take it all this go around. So I think that's what they might do if they want to release it next year. If they just want to wait for the entire series to finish, it could be maybe 2-3 years till we get season 7. And if that makes it to where it's perfect, I'm fine with waiting.
Yeah, me too.
So, as long as the world doesn't go to shit, we should be good. We should be
worried about.
So, yeah. But anyways, we're gonna get out of here. I enjoyed season 6, by far my favorite season. I enjoyed every single moment, and as a manga reader, seeing some of these moments animated, you know, even though I didn't physically shed a tear, emotionally I shed a tear inside, and it felt good. As an anime only, what were your thoughts on this season, and how much did the season hit for you?
It hit so hard in so many moments, especially the Uraraka speech. Of course, my mom ruined that moment for me when she yelled out, "Put the volume down."
Yes.
Yeah. Really good season. Really good season.
Yeah.
But let's not forget how happy My Hero Academia was before all this.
Yes. So, anyways, yep. As I'm getting out, hype levels for season 7, I'm extremely high.
Me too.
Yep. So,
now I have other stuff to look forward to. Black Clover, for example.
Yes, that movie's coming out in June. I know you got Demon Slayer. Maybe I'll have to get into that. Maybe we might be back reviewing it. Eden Zero, it comes out today. Now we gotta actually do our Eden Zero reviews before we get to like season 2 content, which I think we might have to go off those websites to go off it. But I need to see Drac and Joe, see what makes Drac and Joe special.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, a lot of good animes coming out in this spring that are coming out today. Dr. Stone. So if you think this is the last video you'll see my co-host, no, we'll be back. Dr. Stone definitely is a guaranteed. If I somehow catch up within the week for Demon Slayer, then probably expect Demon Slayer. Eden Zero.
I look forward to that, dude. I look forward to that.
Eden Zero, we definitely got to review the remaining episodes we have left on the schedule to watch for that, and then we'll definitely maybe get to it when season 2 starts today, because we're like behind. We've been stalling Eden Zero for a long time.
Yep, there's more to come.
Yes. Trying to think of any other animes this season, unless it's something that we want to talk about that catches our eye, then that's pretty much the stuff we'll be reviewing together. Other than that, that's pretty much it. So we're gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on the last week's episode of season 6 of My Hero Academia, as well as hit the subscribe button. We're almost nearing 700 subscribers on the channel. Last time I checked, we're at 689. So the push to 700 only needs about 11 more, and then the next goal will be 750. So the channel's growing, which means you guys like the content, and on behalf of me, I definitely appreciate the support. So yes, not only hit the subscribe button to my channel, hit the subscribe button to my co-host channel, things like that. But till then, guys, see you guys on whatever video we come back with another review. But if this is it for My Hero Academia for you guys, we'll be back whenever season 7 returns, or unless you want to see me get my thoughts on the manga. But till then, guys, catch you guys next video. Till then, guys, peace.
Peace.